You know what? I have seen enough. That game was enough for me to go out there and say trade him. With all the rumors surrounding Vancouver and Columbus over the past few days, this game right here, I think, was a very interesting showcase as to what could be if Patty Alvin decides to pull that trigger. Now, I know that's not really the story here today. There are a lot of stories going on in Vancouver, actually. It's a dark and rainy night. Everybody's either in Rogers Arena watching the Canucks or just across the street at BC Place getting their Taylor on. The Eras Tour has taken over the world, and I continue to be befuddled every time something new happens with this pop star that garners so much attention. It is absolutely out of this world, mind-bogglingly crazy how popular that one lady is. But all Taylor Swift talk aside, there was a hockey game just across the street, and it happened to be a pretty good one from the Vancouver point of view. You see, everybody's been documenting the Canucks and their home struggles this year. How Kevin Lankinen's save percentage isn't all too great in Rogers Arena. It's great everywhere else. The Canucks' record everywhere else is pretty good, but for some reason, the Canucks have found ways to consistently put on disappointing efforts at home. They had a few wins in there against bad teams like Chicago, for example, but this game right here, it started out as one of these bad performances once again, because the first period, oh boy, that first period didn't inspire hope in any Vancouver Canucks fan watching in the arena or at home. There was a guy sitting behind Rick Tocchet with a Taylor Swift Eras Tour shirt on, and I was like, after the first period, okay, that guy, I don't know if he's a real fan or not, but if he is, I'm sure he'd rather be across the street at BC Place right now instead of watching this crap, because the Vancouver Canucks were outshot 17-2 in the first period. It was terrible. They were down 2-0 in the score sheet. Mathieu Olivier ended up with the 1-0 goal. Damon Severson was the 2-0 goal. We can talk about the goals a little bit later, but realistically, this first period could have been maybe 4 or 5-0 Columbus. Kevin Lankinen just had to step up and make some really strong saves. Some cross creases, some loose puck scrambles out in front. Lankinen was definitely the better goaltender in this game, and it showed especially in the opening 20 minutes. Sure, he let in 2, but that was 2 on 17 shots, and the Canucks only had 2 shots themselves. The first goal of the game, scored by Mathieu Olivier, is an absolutely amazing, beautiful, exquisite chef's kiss pass from one Cole Sillinger, the guy that Rick Dhaliwal said the Canucks should target in some sort of a Höglander deal. He didn't say the Canucks are targeting him. He just said that, in his opinion, Cole Sillinger would be a guy that he looks at if he was in charge. Sillinger is a young player. He's a young forward with a really nice goal-scoring touch. It's actually kind of funny because this season the guy has 14 assists in the limited 24-game sample so far. He is on pace for around 60 points on the year. Sillinger has been a beast in his development, and this pass behind the net to Mathieu Olivier is exquisite. He's coming across behind the net from right to left, and then whilst he is on the left side post, he spins around and passes it to the opposite side, against the grain far post to Mathieu Olivier. It's the old Polgs move. It's the move that Henrik Sedin pulled off to Daniel Sedin to get his 700th NHL assist 6 years ago against the LA Kings in the third period. Yeah, I remember that moment very, very well. It's that little against-the-grain reverse spin pass going behind the net. It is beautiful. No chance for Kevin Lankinen there. Cole Sillinger, you just did that. I want to see him in a Vancouver Canucks sweater. The second goal of the game, 2-0. Damon Severson gets himself a 2-on-1 chance, and he ends up just slapping it down on the rush. Beautiful goal there by Severson. Also, a guy that was been linked to the Vancouver Canucks in some capacity. He had some guys coming on him. Brock Boeser was on the back check. Carson Soucy was in the middle. So Severson just let it rip, and he ends up beating Kevin Lankinen from distance as a result. It's 2-0 Columbus. Columbus at the start of the second period. The Canucks only have 2 shots. Nils Höglander is in the doghouse. He's looking pretty bad, but right away, the Canucks get on the board. All it takes is 3 minutes and 52 seconds for Brock Boeser to receive a brilliant pass from Quinn Hughes going around the net, and Hughes sends it out in front. Boeser with the shot. It has eyes. It goes through everybody. It is 2-1 Columbus, and then there isn't a goal scored for the next, 15 minutes of game time. You see, there were a lot of penalties in this one as well, a lot of calls, a lot of 4-on-4 segments, a lot of other calls that weren't called, and ultimately they were saying on the broadcast that Columbus has let in a power play goal against for, 11 straight games? Really bad numbers right there. And the Vancouver Canucks, despite the fact that they did have a 4-on-3 power play, they did have a 5-on-4 power play multiple times, they weren't able to get anything to go in the second period, but with a minute left, leave it to Elvis Merzlikins to be setting up the Vancouver Canucks because the puck finds itself into the Columbus zone. Merzlikins makes the split-second decision to charge out of his net and try to play it up. He tries to shoot it, and he does get to it first, but instead of shooting it off the boards and out to the guy at the Canucks blue line, his clearing attempt gets blocked by Teddy Blueger, who ends up taking the puck at the far hash marks. He waits. All the Blue Jackets are clogging the shooter lane for Blueger, so Blueger's like, okay, here you go, Kiefer Sherwood, I'm going to give it to you in front. He has a wide open net, he shoots, he scores. It is 2-2 on a really messy, ugly goal against for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, the Canucks had 2 shots in the first period, they had 7 in the second. In the third, they had 8. And the best part about this is that the Blue Jackets' shots ended up dwindling from 17 to 9 to 6 from periods 1 to 2 to 3. So the Canucks really started to get more control in this game as it went on, and that was more than evident in the third period, where all it took was 2 minutes for the Canucks to give themselves the lead. Carson Soucy ends up playing the puck down low to Connor Garland, who ends up taking it behind the goal. Garland wraps it out in front, throws it over to Pius Suter, who takes a shot, and it gets stopped by Merzlikins, but it slowly slides across the goal line. He got a good amount of it, not enough, Merzlikins did. As the goal goes by, Pius Suter has his 10th on the year. It is now 3-2 Vancouver. On NHL.com, they don't actually have Soucy with the assist, but on the NHL app, they did have him, so who knows if Soucy is going to get an assist on this play, but either way, it was Connor Garland with the main primary marker, the pass in front, that allowed that goal to happen. Give it a few minutes, and the Canucks on a power play finally get themselves their power play goal to extend the Blue Jackets' power play goal against streak to 12 games. It is Brock Boeser who sends it over to Quinn Hughes. Hughes has it at the point. He throws it back to Boeser. Over to Hughes once more. Hughes then towards the front of the goal, and it's slid into the 5-hole by Jake DeBrusk. The puck is heading towards the goal. Elvis Merzlikins sticks his stick out to try to knock it away, but before Merzlikins has his stick on it, Jake DeBrusk gets his stick on it first, and Jake slides it in through the 5-hole. It's a 4-2 game. Jake DeBrusk has his 12th goal on the season, and Quinn Hughes has his 25th assist. Brock Boeser gets his 9th assist on the year, which ends up being his 400th NHL career point. So big clap goes on for Brock Boeser here. He made his NHL debut all the way back in 2017, and now 7 years later, he's got 400 NHL points. Awesome to see there for Brock Rockstar Boeser. And ultimately, he did play a pretty good game, I would say, in this one. I thought his movement was really nice. He had, of course, the goal, and then the assist here. And then, with a minute to go, the Vancouver Canucks get the empty netter. It is Pius Suter, assisted by Elias Pettersson. So Petey gets on the board in this one here too. Nice to see him getting yet another assist. And of course, Suter being rewarded for his work ethic and his positioning on the ice. Ultimately, though, I wanted to talk about a few guys because Nils Höglander took himself a bad penalty towards the end of the third period. It was a tripping call on Dante Fabra, really not a good one to take at that time. He also really didn't look all too motivated, and there were some moments of him getting placed on the bench, and there was a video going around of Rick Tocchet limiting that Höglander line. Just in case you were wondering, Höglander was not the most underutilized forward today. He had 10 minutes, 10 seconds tonight. Max Sasson and Atiu Ratu each had 8 minutes and 6 minutes. So Höglander was not the most underutilized player in this one, but Columbus is a team that likes him. Columbus is a team that's already been reportedly interested in him. And with Cole Sillinger having that much of a pop-off game like he did tonight, I'm looking at this game and saying, wow, what a trade value-based game. What a trade baity game. Patrick Allvin, I want you to take that Cole Sillinger guy from Columbus, leave him here in Vancouver, have him stolen from that Blue Jackets flight, and keep him here. Send Höglander onto that plane instead. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the game itself, Vancouver with a big comeback victory, as well as finally a dominating final few minutes at home. Kevin Lankinen played extraordinarily well. Merzlikins had some good saves towards the end there too, but it was too little too late. Honestly, the Canucks could have scored a lot more goals in the third period. It's just Elvis was on his game. But thoughts in the comment section either way. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.